Can we do TBI Survivor Club as well, or no? Standing? Well, technically sitting.
Standing in my heart.
Nyak, nyak. Very good.
I could not figure out how to use yours. So what I'm doing is I'm streaming mine and then share.
So you're having it streamed to yours and then shared to mine?
It is streaming. Yep, here it is. This is live now.
All right.
You know what? I can do this. Don't share it yet, so I don't have to do this.
Yeah, because if you can add TBI Survivor Club and Isaac Walsh on there, that'll be 7,500 people.
Ollinger.
Olinger, yeah.
Olinger.
Olinger.
Oh. But yeah, I've been going to the gym, dude, pretty regular, 3 hours a day, 5
Awesome.
days a week.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Well, my migraines has gone down some. So.
good.
Some. But it's enough to be able to work out. So.
That's good, man. Yeah, I've been trying to, become less fat. That's my goal. So
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to come up and work out in the morning.
dude, I try to, it's like hit or miss, sometimes I don't know when I'm going to work out. And I'm just like, boom, and just jump in there. A lot of times I just work out at home because it's just so much easier.
Well, I'm there at 4 a.m. and then most of the guys
4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
and
early.
then a lot of guys get there at 5:30 and then the rest of them get at 6.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 4 or 5 guys we work out with. And then we all go have breakfast for $5 and then
Cool.
off with the day.
So,
Out by 7:05. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. It's awesome.
Well, I could use some instruction. Chest, shoulders, I do all right. Back, I do all right. But chest exercises and processes, I could use some help on that. And then the middle of my back's really weak from the car accident. And the
Sure.
snapped ligaments,
Yeah.
so the nerve damage on the left side's not. Like I have to do exercises now because it's getting like skippy.
Sure,
I
yeah.
almost tripped and fell the other day. 'Cause my leg doesn't like to work all the time. Just a
All right,
sec.
Isaac, go ahead and check your Facebook, look for my account. Otherwise, actually, before you even follow Facebook.
Plus, this will help him on the other side when he doesn't have to render it, which takes 3 hours. Which will be nicer. Got a cold or?
Just dry mouth. Anytime that I speak or I do anything, my throat gets so dry. I don't know, nervous or whatever. It's just how it is. Natural.
Nice. Well, you got a cool shirt on.
Yeah,
You look great. Pizza. Did you come to lunch afterwards over at the shop or what?
I probably won't be able to today, but I will make sure that maybe, let's see what it is today, Thursday, maybe shoot for Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah,
If
dude.
you're
We just
there.
gotta. Yeah, because if you can remember us in your prayers, dude, we've been getting hammered. But the upside is something good is coming soon.
For sure.
Like I'm not worried about it, but my team has not gone through as many things, so they're like, why? And this sucks, and it's true, it does suck, but there's a reason. 'Cause
For sure.
God wants that relationship. And those things we got to go through to get closer with Him, and that creates
Absolutely,
that
man.
It took me forever to figure that out. I'm like, oh Lord, I want help, and then
That is the feed. It is live right now.
cool
Hit share to wherever you want it to go.
everywhere.
Okay.
Do I have to like hit something? Whoa!
Whoa.
Should I just put public? Anyone on Facebook, on or off?
Yes.
Uh,
Not your friend?
Oh.
Public, right here. Okay.
what's happening?
Oh, we were just gonna click it from that to this, and done. And then this is just literally you're sharing, say something about this.
Saying something about this.
Yeah, and it'll go to your Facebook page as a lot, you're sharing it.
Joe Olinger. Anti-bullying. Anti-bullying.
Character building, education. Character education is what typically I call it.
Anti-bullying by breaking stuff.
Feats of strength, illustrations.
Oh, that sounds so professional.
Breaking stuff.
Feats of strength. And I don't mean my BO. Ah! All right. Posting. Plus, this will save Dave a bunch of time. My buddy got me on this the other day, and I'm like, why don't we do that? And I couldn't come up with a good answer
Right.
other than the internet kept just exploding on us. Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah, for real. For real. Like, we hadn't done it in months because it was like 7 times in a row. He was like, dude, it just went out. And I'm like, ah, sweet mothers. It was endless. And I was like, and you always have the best shows. Anyway.
Spent so much time believing the lies. I knew I wasn't meant to live this way. But my walls came down when your love shone through. Now my life will never be the same. You love me too much to let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Isaac Walsh, and I'm here with Joe Olinger. How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great. And you are from Point of Break.
Yes.
Which we have up on the screen. They can check out, and you break stuff. And the previous video kind of gives your story, and we'll hit that in a minute. But if this is your first time and you are checking us out, we have a bunch of different nonprofits that we work with in the community. UCAN Studios is where we are at, and they help with drug rehabilitation and alcohol rehabilitation. If you know someone who is struggling, you go to ucanmichigan.com, click on struggling, and someone will get a hold of you within 30 minutes to help you out. We all know someone who's struggling with something. If it's life in general and things are tough, you need some help, whether it's spiritual or clothes or food, please go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. We've got over 20 different groups that we work with in the community. No cost to you. Check them out. Help us, help others, help you. All right. So, Joe, welcome back, buddy.
Man, it's good to be back, brother.
You're looking very summertime in your pizza
Yeah.
shirt. I love it.
Yeah, that's the secret of my diet, pizza and ice cream, right?
Oh, my gosh. I need that diet. It took me years to get 2 chins. I'm no quitter. So, actually, I totally want pizza after this, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see. So last time you were here, you had been just a brief overview. Can we do that real quick with
Yeah.
your story? You've been bullied as a kid. You were a second-degree black belt. You went to the gym, worked out, got huge, started working for Jesus, right? And then you started traveling and doing the thing. And that's a basic overview, but they can go back to
Sure,
YouTube
yeah.
on Spiritual Warfare Unit, and they can check that show out. So. And you travel all over the place, which is very cool. And the last time I think we were talking, you were going to be going to Kentucky or Indiana or something. I can't remember.
Can't remember either.
Yeah.
we go to so many different places. It's just, yeah.
Well, how many places you been to? Well, this is May, so how many places you been to this year?
I would say we've been probably to 5 different states doing assemblies and doing Boys and Girls Club. In fact, we're getting ready in a couple of weeks to head down to Florida again. We do that once a year for a week. And during the summertime, we do focus more on the Boys and Girls Clubs and summer camps and stuff. So we're going to be down there. And, we might accidentally go to, Disney Springs because my wife's coming. So
Allegedly.
I have to do something fun while we're down there. It can't be all work. So
Yeah, right.
But it's going to be a good event. And we got some festivals coming up. We've got... Worship on the Farm coming up.
Worship on the farm.
Yeah, it's kind of just a cool thing, kind of up in northern Michigan a little bit, and it's just kind of a festival of musicians, and they've got guys that do magic, and then they got me that break stuff. So it's going to be
very
a fun
cool.
event.
So you notice I still had that book that you ripped in half.
Yeah.
I told you.
That was the most difficult book. I want to let you know that.
Oh, it was so easy. It wasn't that easy. It was actually pretty hard, and it was 2 books that you had put together. So I don't know if you came to break stuff today. I hope you did.
I'm always prepared, man. I got a few things here for you.
A deck of cards?
A deck of cards and a horseshoe, a metal horseshoe.
Let me see this. Is this real? That's real. Okay. All right, that's a real one. I think I just hurt my man boobs. All right. But so you've been traveling. Anything like fun and interesting that has happened? Like as far as you going out there, like any crazy experiences? Because I know you see some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean we've constantly having crazy stuff happen, but kind of some traveling things. Me and my wife. I was telling you last time. One of the deals that me and my wife made was nothing can be scheduled on important dates because family is the most important thing.
Right.
You cannot sacrifice your family for ministry or business or anything. Right, family comes first. And so literally right after that conversation, I get a phone call from someone setting up an event in Pennsylvania, and they're like, hey, do you have this date available? I'm like, sweet, yes, we're good to go. Yeah. And then as I'm explaining to my wife my calendar and kind of where we're going to be at, she kind of gives me a dirty look. Because I scheduled these assemblies on our anniversary.
Oh, I knew that date for a reason.
Yeah, I was like, it sounded familiar. I wasn't for sure. But fortunately, being that she was in she works in the school system. She was on spring break, so we actually were able to go together down in Philadelphia and those areas. And so, after the assemblies, we had some fun, and I was able to run up the rocky steps and
oh, nice. Did you do it?
I did. Nice. And my wife, you can actually watch the video on my Facebook. Yeah, she actually is doing the music with her mouth. The da da da. So it's hilarious. That's super. I wasn't running though. I can tell you that. I was like walking briskly up there. So
So your stories are helping kids deal with bullying. And from a faith-based perspective, and you have guys do music and break stuff, and it's very cool. And these kids, now, last time we were talking, you said that online bullying is like a more bigger issue, right?
Absolutely, man.
And I got to be honest, after we got on the phone, I went and I talked to some people, some teenagers, and I was like, and they looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, yeah. I was like, but you don't, there's no threat of being punched in the face. I guess this is just getting older. Like, they can't punch you in the face.
Right.
They're going to talk bad about you. What difference does it make? And they're like, well, your whole life is on social media.
Is. Your life is there. And the thing is, a lot of what I went through, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of physical bullying. I mean, there was to a point. But the majority of what I went through was emotional. And so a lot of kids... right now, man, it's people can destroy you online. I mean, you have people taking videos of other people, say in the gym. I mean, I've been seeing these videos of people posting people who are not working out correctly, and so they're making an example of them on their own social media.
Don't do it this way.
Right. And so, even that, I mean, things like that, it's happening everywhere. I mean, kids talking about each other and it's sometimes even deeper. I mean, the emotional side of bullying, I mean, cuts much deeper than a fist ever could. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and see, that's, I don't know, maybe it's because of the experience stuff I've gone through. It's not that I don't relate, I don't understand. Right. And so for me, it was more of a physical thing. It was like, I'm going to punch you and you're going to punch me back. Right. And one of us is going down.
That was it was
simpler.
Right?
It was actually simpler.
You could, and when you got home, you had a little bit of breathing room. But these kids now, they get home and they're literally like this the whole time. And so there's no breathing room for them. They're constantly under this stress. And in fact, a lot of schools that we've been to, we've actually had some schools where students have ended their own lives because of social media bullying.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's
and schools invite you out, and you guys have.
Yes.
So the impact with these, give me some success stories, like things that you've had go on, because that's what Sure. That's why you do it. You know,
Well, a couple stories. Excuse me.
just get it out. It's totally
Just-
all right. There we go. All clear.
so, so part of my story is, I self-mutilated. I, punched things just to make my knuckles bleed. I was a cutter. I did all that
Yep.
sort of thing. And we were at one school in South Carolina, and I was able to share my story. And after the program, there was a young lady that came up to me, and she was in tears. And I was like, okay, she's going through something, right?
Right.
And so we're talking, and it wasn't about her, but it was about her friend. And so we were doing an evening program. And so she invited her friend out that was struggling, and come to find out this young lady was, on the verge of just ending her life. She was
Wow.
cutting. She was, and she was very reluctant to talk to me because,
sure.
but afterwards we were able to talk, and I stayed in touch with her. And this young lady recently graduated high school,
Boom.
and she's she's being very successful now, setting goals. I've had kids. I think this was kind of a cool little story. We were at a Boys and Girls Club years ago, and the main message that day was that don't give up because you're special. These are younger kids, and so, I'm like, man, I really hope these kids got this message. And I'm like, afterwards, interacting with them, signing autographs, and signing the broken baseball bat and stuff.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking down, I feel a kiss on my head, and I'm like, what in the world?
Right.
So I look up, and it's this little 8-year-old girl, and she said, Joe, you're special. Don't ever give up. And so she literally reiterated.
Did you
that.
cry?
Oh man,
I would have
dude.
cried, dude.
I gave her such a big hug.
Oh, my gosh.
But it's so cool to see that. I mean, you sometimes wonder, am I really making an impact?
Right.
And then when you start seeing kids reiterating and repeating your message, that's the reason why a lot of times during our assemblies, especially with the younger kids, we have them repeat a lot of those core messages back to us.
Yeah. So give me some other core messages that you have.
Well, we do, like one of our core messages, first of all, is that you're special and unique. There's no one like you. And then from there, we talk to the students about the importance of not only seeing yourself as special, but the importance of helping others see that they're special and valuable.
Right.
And the way that we do that is lifting them up with our words and actions. The way that you treat others, what you say on social media, all those things have the ability to build others up or tear others down. Right. And so that's one of our core messages that we talk about. Another core message is, the importance of learning to cope with strong emotions like anger. There's anger doesn't
Anger's
happen.
a strong one. I feel like that's so easy. Rage. Yeah. No, I think it's weird. I've never met a single person who's not been mad before. And guys, when you get mad like that,
dude,
and it's like you have to break stuff. And I love that you're using break
anger
stuff.
management.
Now, speaking of which, I would like to take this moment, and I know you got two things to break. So I don't know which one is cooler.
It's whatever you want to do.
I
brother.
feel like I want to watch you break a horseshoe because it just looks. I tried it. Give me one more try. If I snap this, I'm going to feel so amazing.
Well, it's not snapping it; it's bending it. So it just don't want you to.
Just bend. Oh, and now you're going to put it on your leg or something. All right. So this is a real. Like I can kind of. All right. It makes. All right. It's legit. All right,
I don't want to bang it on the table.
Get this out. All right. Yeah, bang it on one more time. All right,
it's legit.
That's all right.
So in the public schools, what we do is we take this horseshoe, and especially with the younger kids, we talk about, okay, where does a horseshoe go, right? It goes on the bottom of a horse's hoof, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, a lot of times what happens to this horseshoe is that the horse is going to walk over the rough terrain, the gravel, the mud, and even through the cow poo-poo, right? And so eventually this horseshoe is going to need to be replaced. And you see how this horseshoe looks like a letter U. Sometimes you can feel just like this horseshoe.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of relating this object to the kids. But we're like, okay, we came this way to let you know that none of you, every one of you are special and unique, and you have more ability and more potential to change this world.
Right.
So that's the reason why when we make the right choices, when we see ourselves as special and we lift others up with our words and actions, it will begin to shape and mold our lives. And this is what will happen. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Rah.
Just like that.
Oh my gosh, he turned it into a nest. All right, I'm keeping this on the show.
And so we'll take
I
this.
tried. This is nonsense. I need to go.
The thing is, I had gloves on. So that
I
was the
know
difference.
it, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right, that's going on our coolness factor here with all the other stuff.
So the cool thing is about
love
this, we'll take this and we're saying, see what letter this is, and you pointed
S.
out it's an S
Yeah.
because you're special. And unique. And a lot of times in the elementary schools, we'll have them repeat, "I am special,
Yeah, yeah.
I am unique, and I will help others see that they're special too."
Right.
And it's just kind of
I love
relating
it.
this. So
All right, well, this is the point where I'm going to take a live break, and we are sponsored by Point of Break, which you can check out at pointofbreak.org, right?
yes, that's
And the
it.
phone number there is 248-459-5157. So you know someone that has experience of bullying or would like them to have to come to your school and have them break some stuff.
Yes.
Right at the Point of Break. You can check them out at the pointofbreak.org. That number again is 248-459-5157. 248-459-5157. All right, back to the show.
Yes.
So I'm here with Joe, and so you go around and you do these schools. Like, how many schools and shows do you do? I mean, you're in the dozens, right?
Well, we, since the pandemic, it's been a slower process to get back into the school. So, we're starting to get more assemblies again. We're kind of getting back to where we're at. Probably right before the pandemic, we were probably on the road 2 weeks out of the month. On the road,
2 out of 4 weeks, 26 weeks a year.
Yeah, roughly, and that would be anywhere from 3 assemblies to 20 assemblies that week. So I mean,
Wow.
we're kind of starting to get back up. To
All
that
right, hold
point,
on
you
a
know what I mean?
second. So when you say 3 what, like morning, noon, and night?
Well, a lot of times we can break it up into 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or 1.
So
in the
3
afternoon.
shows a day.
Yeah.
And how long is the show?
Typically, depending on the age range, the elementary schools, anywhere from 30 minutes to 45, and the older kids, middle school and high school, typically it's 45 to an hour. So
Okay.
that's kind of.
And you're able to do this for churches or schools
Yes.
or
Yeah, we do
boys and girls
churches.
clubs
Yes.
or
I mean,
YMCAs.
anything. I mean, we do ministry outreaches as well because I'm a co-pastor at a wonderful church down in Royal Oak. But we do that. But then the secular assemblies, which are non-religious in content, of course, and,
Right.
and we're able to kind of format a program that fits really any environment.
And you're able to do this 26 weeks a year. That's
Yeah.
a dude.
That's kind of what it was before. Now,
No wonder it's pizza and ice cream. That makes all the sense in the world. I want to try that, by the way.
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
I'm on a diet. I'll have a double.
That's right.
Cheese. Right? So you guys' show was between the band and you breaking stuff's 45 minutes?
Yes, and that's like
That seems
usually
super fast.
Brad. If you see Brad up there, he usually does
Looking very cool.
I know, man. He's
That
the
beard
cool
is
guy.
stellar.
I know,
Yeah.
dude. But he does maybe 1 or 2 songs at the beginning and maybe 1 or 2 songs in the middle of the program.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if we're doing larger events, I mean, we can do full bands. We can have I can have more guys coming out with me to break stuff.
Because my thought was this, like, seriously, it's like, I got veterans, I got families who put on a
Sure.
full show.
Yeah.
And if you're coming out for 30 to 40 minutes, like, 'cause they can
Yeah.
bring their kids out there and you're breaking stuff, like,
For sure.
that works. Plus veteran strength, breaking stuff. We like all that stuff. That's all good stuff.
Sure.
But it's super fun, especially that you're doing anti-bullying, especially from a faith-based perspective and getting out there. And just refresh our memory here. You've been doing this how long?
This year I'm going on 24 years. So
24.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. So you're like 25?
Yeah, maybe. Exactly.
It's funny how the brain and the age don't work together.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
Like when you're watching that, I'm like, I could totally do that in a year, right? It's like, I could. It's just the age and you just don't get it when
Right.
you're younger, and it's like, oh.
And you do these things so often. I was almost getting bored with some of the stuff, so I started doing new stuff. And people are like, Joe, listen, these people have never seen that. You've seen it a million times. You've done it a million times, but these people, they've never seen it. So
You're literally like, hold my Coke.
yeah, right. It's like, ugh.
Yay, it's an S. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's origami out of metal.
Yay. Yeah. Well, and but that's the thing is it's fresh and new for each person. You're always honing those skills, I imagine.
And really, something that, at the beginning of it, it was kind of about the feats of strength. And,
Right.
I was a power lifter and all this stuff. But the older I get, the more it truly is about the message.
Yeah,
Because honestly, we do a lot of illustrations, too, where it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
the feat of strength.
Well, you showed me that video where you're in a Mexican jail and you're bending that bar on your head. And you're like, that looks like it hurts. It's because it does.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, man. I mean, those were some crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been all over the world, man. It's just nuts.
Just like in Mexico and all over the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, Brad's getting ready to do some touring in Europe, but I'm not invited to that, whatever. But anyway.
It's all good.
No, man, he's doing such great work, and so, but our goal is to expand our borders as far as we absolutely can. You know what I mean? And so, we're just trying our best just to fulfill what we feel like we've been called to do. You know what I mean?
So you went to pastor, and you told us that story again. You can check it out on Spiritual Warfare Unit on YouTube, and about how you guys became pastors, and you're like,
Yeah.
no way, I'm not a pastor, dude.
Yeah.
And I feel that, I really understand that. And so when you're doing your calling to this, like you grew up with bullying, and that's great, but how did it, like, tell us again, just briefly, how that became like your path. How you first got into it. 'Cause
Sure.
You did get bullied, but a lot of people get bullied.
Right.
So how did that happen? Just give us a little quick.
Well, after many years of being bullied, as you know, it led me to a place where I wanted to end my life. I attempted to take my life a few times, but one particular time when I was 18 years old. And I remember after the attempt, I was going to church, right? And a lot of times people that go to church, they think that you're okay because you're in church. But there's a lot of broken people.
Yeah, typically you're not okay, and that's why you're going to church,
Absolutely.
right?
But I was even in leadership, right? I was doing music, and
Perfect.
everything.
That makes sense.
I was a young kid, 18 years old. But there was this particular older lady. We called her Graham. She would chase me around the church. She would give me these bright orange lipstick kisses on the cheek, and you couldn't wipe it off because I don't know what's in grandma makeup, man. But that stuff does not come off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's concrete.
It is, man. But she was looking up at me, believe it or not. And I remember she put her hand on my cheek, and she knew I was going through stuff. And she says, Joe, I want you to know that you're special. I cannot wait to see how God uses you. And those words completely transformed my life.
Wow.
And I remember I struggled a couple of days after that, and I was just kind of like, it was just hitting me,
Yeah.
And I remember I just got in a car at 18, and I was working at a little grocery store, and I remember I was driving there, and I just started punching the seat. I was raging out, and I was ready just to drop my car off the side of a mountain that was up there. And I heard a voice in my heart. It's like, give me everything or give me nothing.
Right.
And I was just like, what was that about?
Yeah.
And I just started screaming at God, and I was like, God, if you're real, if this is not a story, if this isn't just some kind of myth thing that people have been telling me, come into my life.
Right.
Prove it. It
Right.
was almost like that sense of, I know that you died on a cross, you rose again. That's what they say. I want that.
Show me you're there. Yeah.
And then and it doesn't happen all the time, but in that moment, I felt like 1,000 pounds lifted off my shoulder. And I remember that evening, I went to work. They knew me as the weird guy walking around, looking down at the floor, just doing my thing. I had a goofy smile on my face. They're like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I was like, I tried to kill myself, but Jesus saved me.
Yeah.
I was a
And they're like,
lunatic.
don't touch me.
But it was like, from then on, it was like, for me, it became my life's mission to try to find those kids,
Right.
those people.
Because it wasn't just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened was I realized after the fact, I was so blinded to thinking that everybody was against me.
Yeah.
When that happened, I realized how many people really were in my corner that I didn't
Right.
realize.
And
how
you're
many
not
friends-
alone.
Yeah, that you're not alone. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's where I'm thankful for the death experience, because it's like, money, power, authority things, those are great, but that's not what it is. It's like that stuff's great, but it's great if I could share it.
Absolutely.
It's not great to, look at me and I got
Yeah.
stuff. Like, if I'm in competition with you, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not loving you.
Right.
So you can just have it, and what do I care?
Right.
And then let's go help somebody. Right. But it took me having to die to get there, and trying to make that make sense to people. It's like you're speaking English into Chinese back into
Right.
English, and they're just like, does not compute,
Right.
And you try, and that's what.
It's interesting that you said that. I heard a quote this week, and I actually ripped it off. It says that comparison is the thief of joy, or is a thief of joy. I think that when we do have that comparison, it really will rob us.
Yeah, one of the sentences that just came to mind that I like is that competition is pride disguised as love, right? Because oh yeah, we like each other and everything's good as long as I win,
Right.
right? And it's like, well, what happens if I just let the other person win? Can I be happy for them?
Right.
And if you can't, it disguises itself, right? And the first person we always deceive is ourselves. So
We gotta celebrate other people's successes too.
Dude, I want other people to win.
Absolutely.
Like when someone's into something, like I had a friend of mine, and he's telling me this long, exacerbated story.
Was it me?
No, and I didn't. It was about a particular subject, which I was unfluent and barely intelligent enough to carry a conversation with this person.
Right.
Like, you ever left and you're like, I'm dumber?
yeah.
He's one of
All the
those
time.
guys, right? And we get done, and he was like, what do you think? And I said, I love how much you love it. I said, the rest of it is I kind of grasp a little bit of what you're saying. I just love how much you love it. So when someone's like, oh, do you know this? I'm like, I know just the guy.
Right.
It's my buddy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Point
then
them.
that puts him in there, and I don't try to steal. Oh, yeah, I don't do any of that stuff.
No.
I just like, there's for most of the things, like I study wisdom. That's my thing.
Right.
Communication with people, how to apply it. That's my thing. Beyond that scope, which there's a buttload, which I looked that up. That means 126 gallons of wine, just so you know. That's a true thing. I was
That's crazy.
And it makes sense that it was
Random
a wine
facts.
guy. You know how much wine we have? A buttload. Right? Makes perfect sense to me. But it's like, and then when you're doing these things, and this is why you guys doing the anti-bullying stuff, and you get to break stuff, and it's cool. So you had your first one, which I got my S. You
Right.
do an S, which is very cool. We're going to keep that up there. And then you had a pack of cards. What do you want to do with the cards?
So we use these, sometimes with the phone book, but we tear cards in half. I don't.
The whole deck?
You want to see a magic trick?
Yes.
I've been working on this.
All right, let's do it. Whoa, very cool.
Ooh. Yeah, the kids make fun of that. 'cause
There's
they
two words I want to
totally-
use right now. You ready?
Right.
Ooh, also.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I can't do that stuff. But
That's it.
But that's why I rip them in half.
Yeah.
So-
All right, so let me attempt. I want to,
Yes.
so like this way.
Don't bend them. No.
I just want to show them it's legit.
Bending a perfectly good pack of
I
cards.
know. No euchre today.
So we actually have, a lot of times we talk about, gambling with our decisions in our lives, like cards.
Yeah.
And, that you cannot always control the hand that life has dealt you.
Right.
But it's what you do with that.
Right.
That's what you have control of, right?
Right.
And so when the obstacles and the challenges come and we make the right choices, we're able to rip through those challenges. Now,
Nice.
here's the cool thing. When we're in the churches and youth groups, we talk about how, we all have a debt called sin, right? We're separated from God.
Yeah.
And, Christ came, he lived a sinless and a perfect life, and he died for our sins. And,
Yeah.
and I love this because usually in the middle of every deck, let me find it. There, I think I might have already used this deck for.
Well, what are you looking for?
The King of Hearts.
Ah.
And he's in here.
Yeah.
He never. he may not be in this deck because.
But he's in the rest of them.
Anyway, But we look at the King of Hearts, and we talk about how he wants to be the center of your life, and we put it in the center of our deck.
Okay.
And then he will help you rip and tear through anything in life. And the way that you are trying to rip them is what, and I don't want to make you feel bad, but that's what we call the easy way.
Oh, okay.
So, but a lot of times people will say the Christian message, Christ is a long shot, right? That, so I always like to tear it the long way,
Okay.
the hard way, the difficult way. In the schools, we talk about, that it's not always a quick fix. It's not always a quick answer for your problem. Sometimes you have to go through some stuff to get through these tough times and learning. And so when you do that, you'll be able to rip and tear through just like this. Here we go.
All right, let's see this. Long ways, too. Oh, my goodness.
Just like that.
Oh, my gosh. That's legit. Oh, my Lord.
See, I do know magic. I made twice as many cards.
Yeah. Now there's, probably 104. But whatever. Man, that's so great. Unbelievable.
Confetti.
Ripped it right in. Man, that's so great. We haven't had a chance to. It is so good to see your face.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you too.
Him and I we conversate, we help each other and lift each other up, and it's super great to see you. Do you have anything coming up real quick in the near future?
Well, like I said, we have some clubs coming up, some boys and girls clubs down in Florida. We have some. I think we have a camp coming up in July. This month is a little bit slow, but like I said, next month we're going to be in Florida. So, but we've got some things. We're already booking programs for next school year. We actually have some assemblies already booked for next year.
And that's pointofbreak.org?
Yes.
All right, pointofbreak.org. You guys check it out. 248-459-5157. Joe, I'm so glad that you came in. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you so much.
I enjoy you hanging out with the show, and we will see you next time.
All right.
Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
Spent so much time believing the lies. I knew I wasn't meant to live this way, but my walls came down when your love shone through. Now my life will never be the same. You love me too much to let me stay this way.